Hey, hi everyone. This is Sai from LetsUpgrade. So let's talk about how to get your certificate. It's very simple. You will see two links in the description. Number one is the place where you have to go and mark your attendance. Marking your attendance tells us like, okay, you are a legit student who have attended this particular session. Link number two is your assignment. This is where your 90% of the priority is. You have to go and submit the assignment that is given to you in this particular session. Once you're done submitting that assignment, we will be evaluating that. We will send you an email. If you get the passing criteria, then only we will give you the certificate on a particular date that is mentioned again in the description. Please check these three things, and this is the way how you will get a certificate from Let's Upgrade. Number one, mark your attendance. Number two, just go ahead and upload your assignment. Check for the email that you have received it, yes or no. What is the feedback that you have received from your trainer? Number three, check on which date the certificates will be released. Thank you. Bye. All the best. Happy learning.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the Power BI Bootcamp. And in this particular session, we are going to understand what exactly a Power BI is. We'll not only understand what is Power BI, but we will also understand what BI stands for. Now, we will try to understand it with one scenario. Imagine you are managing operations of a growing retail company with multiple stores across different cities. Every day, huge amounts of data are generated. Let's say sales data, transactions data, inventory data, updates, customer data, purchases, seasonal trends, employee performance, like everything. However, all this data is kind of scattered across Excel sheets, databases, and billing systems. So over here, what I'm trying to say is that the problem is not about lack of data, but inability to make a quick, informed decisions from it. For example, one store may be overstocked with slow moving products while another runs out of high demanded items. Sales might be dropping in one region but without clear visibility. That means you can't identify whether it is due to pricing or customer behavior or external factors. So the problem which is occurring over here, all these problems, right? All these problems which are occurring over here is because of the one reason. Because managers often rely on manual reports, which are time consuming, error prone, and outdated by the time. So when this leads to delayed decision, this leads to delayed decisions, revenue loss, and missed business opportunities. So I hope you have understood all the problems which we have discussed. So we are having our own retail store, and I am managing that retail store. I have a huge data. My sales is growing at some region, but my sales is dropping at some another region, and I am not able to figuring out the problem quickly. Reason is data is scattered, and to analyze that data manually, I need to look for different Excel sheets. I need to gather data from different Excel sheets. I need to gather data from different reports, and all this will be time consuming. And in business, high time is equivalent to high loss. So this is where Microsoft Power BI comes into the picture. This is where Microsoft Power BI become extremely valuable. Power BI is business analytics and data visualization tool that help organization to transform raw unstructured data into meaningful insights through interactive dashboards and reports. Meaning all those data which were scattered here and there, we can actually transform that data as well. In data analysis or in the world of data, there is one nice concept called as data cleaning. And in data cleaning, what you do is you generally convert your raw data in a clean, proper, structured way. That means you convert raw data into a clean format. And Power BI is not only a visualization tool, but it also helps us to transform your data so that you can find out meaningful insights from it. You can see this picture as well. On the left hand side, there are a lot of data coming into the Power BI window. And this Power BI window has nicely captured that data and kept a nice report or dashboard in front of us. So over here, dashboards and reporting is also one of the things that we can do with the help of data transformation. So here, instead of going through hundreds of rows in a spreadsheet, you can visualize the trends using graph, charts, KPIs in real time. In the retail scenario, Power BI can be connected to multiple data sources. For example, we can connect our Power BI to the sales database. We can connect our Power BI to the Excel files. We can even connect our Power BI with the cloud services. And we can combine them into one unified dashboard. And then manager can instantly see which products are performing well, which location need restocking, and where sales are declining. Because imagine you have this nice dashboard in front of you so that you can create and you can take decisions very immediately by looking at this graph. With features like drill down analysis, filters, then real time update, decision makers can quickly explore the root cause of the problem. And not only they can find out the root cause, but they can also take the actions out of it. So the importance of data visualization in business lies in its ability to simplify complex data and make understandable even for the non-technical use, right? So this is a quick comparison which we were talking about. The operational shift before and after Power BI. You can clearly see that before the Power BI, everything was scattered in different spreadsheets. And because of that, it is time consuming. Over here, we were wasting time in gathering the data. And because of that, maybe error prone actions we used to take, or maybe blind decisions also we used to take. But now, with the introduction of Power BI, which is a proactive approach, meaning everything can be unified into a single dashboard. Because of that, we may get real time updates. We not only get the updates, but we can do prediction forecasting as well. We can explore the root cause, taking actions out of it. And most important thing, the action speeds which I was talking about, these action speeds will be much more faster than the previous one. So the main point in this today's competitive environment is nothing but decision must be very fast and accurate. And these tools like Power BI are no longer optional. They are now very, very critical. They are very important, and this will change how we can analyze the data. So, in upcoming sessions, we are going to understand how we can connect our Power BI to different sources, how you can take decisions. But before taking a decisions, we will see how we can visualize the content, how we can visualize the charts. And not only that, as I mentioned in the introduction, Power BI is not only limited to creating graphs, they this can be used, Power BI can be used to data cleaning as well, to clean the data as well, right? So we are going to see how to install Power BI desktop, and this is a very easy task. All you need to do is just open your favorite web browser and type down Power BI desktop download. Just hit the enter button and you can visit this site called as download Microsoft Power BI desktop from official website. Click on it. Once you will click on it, you will see this kind of window over here, a download button. All you need to do is just click on download button. When you will click on download button, you will see an exe file on the right hand side got downloaded. All you need to do is just hit double click on this Power BI desktop file. When you will do it, it will open a installer for us. Next thing that we all need to do is just click on the next button. After that, it might give you one kind of user control warning. Just hit the yes button. Wait for a few seconds and it will then start preparing the installer. After that, you will get one notification called as welcome to Microsoft Power BI Desktop Setup Wizard. Then hit the next button. After that, over here you can see all the agreement of Microsoft Teams and terms. Now you just have to click on this I accept terms button and then click on next. Over here, you can choose the destination folder where all your work will be stored. I'm just keeping this as default. I'll click on the next button. After that, you will get one kind of window again, which says ready to install Microsoft Power BI Desktop. And over here, you can see one more option, create desktop shortcut. You will just click on it and then click on install button. After that, it will take some time and you can see a status over here as well. So we will wait for another few minutes. It will update all the registration components. It will create necessary files in the folder and then it will create that Power BI desktop shortcut as well. Okay, so installer takes some time, and once everything is done, you will get this kind of window. All you need to do is just click on finish button. When you will click on finish button, it will also launch the Power BI desktop application for us. And see, this is how Power BI desktop application looks like. Here, we will simply understand the overview of this particular application. Power BI application can read different data from different sources, meaning it can read the files from your Excel sheet, it can read the files from your SQL server, it can read the file from any cloud services, meaning there are different data sources available in the market and you can connect your Power BI with those services. In our sessions, we are going to connect our Power BI with Excel sheets as well as with the CSV files. Okay, here all you can see is a blank report. You can simply click on blank report and it will create a blank report for you. Let's take a quick tour of this particular application. Here you can see different data sources. As you all can see, there is one option called as get data in the home tab. Over here you have that option to get the data from this many data sources. As I mentioned, you can get the data from Excel sheets, you can get the data from SQL servers, you can get the data from CSV file, or you can scrap the data from the web page as well. And there are other as well. If you click on more, you will see more options over here like this. See, for databases, you have this many options. For Azure, you have this many options. For files, you have this many options. Okay. So what I'm trying to say over here is that we can connect our Power BI with multiple data sources. We do have few shortcut as well. Since we generally cover Power BI with Excel workbook. So over here you can see a quick shortcut to import data from Microsoft Excel workbook as well. Not only that, you can see option to import data from SQL Server database as well. Now over here, this is something we call it as canvas. You can also load the data either from get data or from Excel workbook or from the options that you can see on the canvas. Over here, we call this particular tab or the window as canvas window. Reason, we all draw graphs over here, visualizations over here. And how do we draw it? You can see it on the right hand side, a visualization window. This visualization tab consists of different charts, line charts, then we have area chart, then we have funnel chart, and we have pie chart as well as donut charts as well. And likewise, we do have multiple charts. No doubt in upcoming sessions, we are going to understand which graph will be better in which scenarios. So this is an overview of your Power BI desktop. Over here in the home tab, you can see this many options. You have insert button as well, where you can add new visuals, right? You can power automate certain things. You can add text box if you want to. You can add images as well if you want to the report, right? In the modeling tab, you can see few options which are gray out as of now. And the reason why they are gray out, because we have not loaded the data yet. So, okay, what we all are going to do is we all are going to connect our first Excel sheet with the Power BI. And then we will try to explore more about this Power BI desktop. So let's start by creating a blank report. When you will click on blank report, you will see this kind of window. Now, how to load your Excel sheet? As I said, there are multiple options for that. One is you can either click on get data and then you can click on Excel workbook, or you can see a shortcut button over here called as Excel workbook, or you can simply click on import data from Excel. So there are a lot of ways and there are many ways from which you can load the Excel sheet. You can choose anything which you are comfortable with. So I generally prefer selecting the data from this particular button. Now, as you will click on it, you will have to redirect to your specific folder where you have stored that Excel sheet. Now, the Excel sheet which I want to work with is something called as employee records. So now I will simply double click on the employee records. When I will double click on the employee records, I will see something like this. Here you can see different sheets which are present in your Excel book. So you know that in one Excel book, there can be multiple sheets. So over here, I will simply select the data sheet. I will click on it and then you can see three options immediately over here: load, transform data, and cancel. Now I will tell you the purpose of each and every button over here. No doubt, cancel means close the window. Load means we are directly good to go ahead for the data loading, meaning our data is well and good and we can directly utilize it for the visualization purpose without even transforming it, right? But if you look at this data, you will see you will see this overview over here about your data, and you can see the things are not looking pretty well. You can see the data which I have used contains a weird column name like column 2, column 3, column 4. Even the first row is completely empty. And if you observed it, the third row over here, or you can say that second row over here, consist of the actual column names like name, gender, department, salary, location. Meaning, over here itself, you can clearly see that my data is not properly structured. And to create a proper structure from this data is something called as data transformation. Meaning, we will fix all the issues from this particular data. And whenever you want to perform any transformation on the data set, you always choose one option called as transform data. After that, what you need to do is you will redirect it to one query feed. Now, what if you have mistakenly clicked on load data? Meaning, now we are mistakenly clicking on the load data, or you can say that we are purposefully right now clicking on the load data without even transforming it. So here one question arises: can we transform the data or can we clean the data after loading it? Then guys, my answer will be yes. So you can either click on transfer button, or I will purposefully click on this load button. As soon as you will click on the load button, your data will be loaded and you will be able to see your data on the right hand side over here. So over here, as you can see, that data has been loaded, it's working on it, and on the right hand side you will be able to see a data window. If you expand this data window, you can see all the column names over here, and you can see that these columns are not the one which we are expected, meaning this is unstructured and unclean data. Now you can see that on the left hand side you can see multiple tabs. Over here you can see multiple tabs, right? The first tab is about report view. Every Power BI desktop has three main views. One, report view; second, table view; third, model view. I will talk about these three of them immediately now. We will not talk about DAX query view and TMDL view as of now. Now, over here, let's talk about report view. In report view, we always generate visualization. We always generate reports. And in that report, we always mention lot of visuals. We create charts in this report view. So that's the reason in report view, you can see all the graphics and all the chart icons on the right hand side. Now, let's go back to the table view. In table view, you get an overview about your data which you have loaded. You can also perform quick transformation over here, but majorly this particular table view is used to maybe create some another column with the help of existing column. In data terminology, we call it as feature engineering, meaning over here you can also create new columns from the existing column as well. Imagine you want to create new column by performing some kind of calculation. Imagine you have sales data and you have two columns, let's say price per unit and total unit sold, but you don't have any column called as total sales. So this is where you can create a new column by writing down your own logic. So in short, here you can write down your own logic and create new columns, or maybe you can transform few columns as well, right? In the next sessions, or in upcoming sessions, we are definitely going to use this particular window as well. That means this view as well. And the last view over here, which you can see, is the model view. In the model view, you can see a schema structure of your data. Now, what does that mean? You know that in a database or in an Excel sheet, there can be multiple sheets, right? For example, let's assume that I'm dealing with sales data. Then at the same time, I have also loaded the order table. So over here, we can create relationships. We can understand the schema structure of my data set. Over here, data set is nothing but the Excel book which I have loaded. No doubt, again, in upcoming sessions, we will see how to create relationship between the tables. We will see how to remove relationship between the tables. And in that case, we will explore this model view again a lot. Now, as of now, let's again get back to the report view. And as you know that right now, this report view has this canvas where you can draw certain things. But unfortunately, as of now, we cannot draw anything because you know that we don't have proper column names over here. By what that means, it means that my data is unclean. And this is where you need to transform your data. Now we will see how to transform data even after loading it. And for that, in the report view, you can see this home tab. And in the home tab itself, you can see one button called as transform data. Directly click on this button. If you are clicking on the drop down list, then please click on drop down list, and after that you can click on transform data. When I will click on transform data, it will open another new window for us, and this is where all the magic happens. This window is something called as you can see on the top left side, name written as Power Query Editor. So this is a powerful window, or this is a powerful editor where you can perform lot of data transformation, right? So we will now try to understand lot of things about this data. First thing, if you observe that by default you can see applied steps on the right hand side. So whenever we perform any transformation on this particular data, whenever we will perform any activity on this data, that activity will be considered as step. But as you know that right now I haven't even performed any steps, but still I'm able to see 4 steps. Always remember, Power BI create these 4 steps by default. So what this 4 steps all about? These 4 steps are all about taking the source, data source, navigating between the columns, promoting the headers, and change the data type as well. Now always remember that in Power BI, every column has a data type. Just like your database, just like your SQL, just like your any other programming language, every column has its own data type. How to check the data types over here and how to change it as well. So to check the data type, you can see this ABC option over here. That ABC, if you click on it, you can see whole lot of, you can see the list of data types over here. So you can see in numbers, we have decimal, we have fixed, we have whole, we have percentage. In date format as well, we have date time, we have time zones, we have duration. And ABC stands for text. We have Boolean values as well, which is true and false. So what I'm trying to tell you over here is that no doubt you can select any data type over here, but you know that the values has to be valid. Meaning I cannot select date time over here because the data it consists of is nothing but a names and we cannot represent name in dates. I hope you're getting my point. So even though you want to change the data type, make sure you have respective value or values as per that particular data type. Let's keep it aside. You can observe one more thing over here. ABC123. ABC123 stands for alphanumeric column, which means it can contain numbers as well as it can contain text data as well. Okay. Now, again, let's keep this aside. Over here itself, you can observe a lot of problems. First thing that you can see over here is you can see this kind of um, uh, this kind of checker over here. Now, this is something we call it as what you can say that in simple terms we call it as column quality window. So this is where you can see the quality of the column, right? You can see that in column number 2 there are 4 empty values. When we talk about empty values, we call it as null values. Then over here you can see less than 1% of null values. Over here as well we can see 4% of null values. And how do I enable it? I went inside the view and then I checked on this column quality. If you uncheck it, you can see that quality checker is no longer there. So I have clicked on the column quality checker, and you can see the overview about the columns. But again, let's go back to the home tab over here. So first thing that you all can observe is that the first row is entirely empty, right? So let us see how we can delete the row. So to delete the row in the home tab itself, you can see multiple options. One of the options that you can see over here is remove rows. That means if you click on the down arrow of it, you can see multiple options over here. So you can click on remove top rows and we can mention how many rows we want to remove. So obviously our first row was empty and I want to remove the first row only. That's the reason I will say number of rows is equals to 1. Now what we are doing is we are technically removing the first row over here and I will click on OK. As soon as I will click on OK, please observe the right hand tab called as applied step. I hope you have observed it. You can see that it has been considered as one of the step, and you also see that the first row is no longer there. So many of the students and many of the learners have one question: sir, how to go back to the previous step? Meaning, if you have mistakenly removed something, then how to go back? Because over here, Control Z, that means undo button won't work. So to go back to the previous step, you can you can click on this cross button over here. So right now for you, I will again click on the cross button, and as you can see, again the first row has appeared. So this is how you can navigate to the previous step. So I'll again remove the first row by clicking on remove first row. How many rows we want to remove? I want to remove first. I will click down first, and then I will simply click on OK. Now looks good. But still, the things are not sorted yet. You can see the column names. You can see the column names over here: column 2, column 3, column 4, Power Query demo, and something like that. So if you observe this, the first row has to be my column header. That means, can I say that I want to promote my first row as a column header? Can we do that? My answer is yes. How easy it is? Very easy it is. Can you see one option over here called as use first row as header? Right? In the home tab itself, you can see one option called as use first row as header. All you need to do is just click on that particular button. Just click on this use first row as header. And when you will click on it, you can see the magic. I hope you have observed it. I hope you have observed it. Now everything is well maintained. And not only that, if you have observed it, my Power BI has taken one extra step called as change the type as well. So I hope you're observing how smart my Power BI is. It has promoted the row, but it has immediately changed the column types as well. It has immediately checked the column type and changed it as well, right? Now, I guess my column headers are looking well, right? Let's check it out. Yes, they are looking good now. Next thing that we all are going to do is let's deal with null values. So if you observed it in the first column, how to check whether null values are there or not, you can see empty is 0. But in Power BI, null values are represented by NULL written in small case, right? So if you scroll it down over here, if you click on this drop down button, you can see all the things over here. In the search type, you can search for null. You can see there are no null values. You can search for capital null. You can see there are no null values. Sometimes null values can be present in question mark as well. It is no longer there. Sometimes it is present in dash as well. It is no longer there. Meaning this column is perfect. This column is perfect. But if you observed it, let's explore the gender column. I'll click on the drop down list and you can see immediately over here, there are three things: male, female, and null. So this null over here, what does that mean? It means there are empty values, there are null values present. Now we will see how to deal with the null values. There are two ways. Either you can remove the null values from the data set. How you can do that? Again, click on the remove rows and then you can click on remove errors or remove blank rows if you want to. You can do that as well. Okay, you can remove blank rows from here as well. But I'm not going to remove any blank rows. Blank rows. What I'm going to do is I'm going to perform the replace operation. Meaning, wherever there is a null value in the gender column, I will replace it with others. Okay. So how to replace the values here? So for that, just select that column and then you can see lot of options over here. You can see one option called as replace values. I hope you are able to see it. Just below the first row as header, you can see one option called as replace values. Click on the replace values and here you need to type down which value to replace. I will say null because you know that null values are written as NULL in Power BI. To whom you need to replace with? I want to replace it with others. Meaning whenever there is a null value, that value will be now replaced with others. Let's check it out. And here you go. I hope you have observed this as well. Now you can see in the gender column, we have 0% of empty values. If you expand the drop down of it, you can clearly see that we have female, male, others. Meaning we have successfully handled the null values over here. Now let's check the third column called as department column. Over here, as per the column analysis, you can see that there are zero empty values. But if you observe this data correctly, and if you type down, let's say null over here, you can see one null values is present. But now why this null is not getting detected by the Power BI? The reason is, as I said, in Power BI, null is written in small case. So if you have NULL written in capital, that won't be considered as a blank row, unfortunately. But you know that even though it is written in capital letters, it is still blank. So what you can do is, here we can take multiple options. One thing that we can do is we can replace these null values. We can replace this null value with not available as a string. Over here, why there is null? Because I don't know the department, right? I don't know the department. So what I can do is, I will again select this column. I will again click on replace, but this time I will write down null like this, because remember, it is case sensitive, and I want to replace it with, let's say, not available, or you can say that not known, or let's say not available itself. And then I will click on OK. Now whenever you can see not available, see over here, you can see not available. That means there were null values present, or there was null value present, right? So see, this is how you handle extra, you can say that null values which are written in some other ways. Okay, I hope so this is clear as well. Now let's move ahead, and we will explore salary column as well. Here you can see that in the salary column as well, we have 4% of null values. Now here we cannot say it as assume the salary as 0, or assume the salary as 10,000, or assume the salary as 20,000. You cannot simply assume the salary of anyone. So what we generally do to handle null values in a numerical column, specifically in a continuous column like this, what we generally do is, we generally calculate the average of this salary, right? Now, how to calculate average of this column? So to calculate average of this column, just select it, go back to your transforms, go back to your transform button here. What I've did is I have selected it, then I clicked on the transform tab, and then I will select the statistics, and from the statistics I will select average. I will click on the average. You can see one extra field has been created, and extra step has been created, and this is the average. I will simply copy this average, and I will remove this step over here. I have copied that average and I have removed it over here. I have removed the steps from the right hand side. Now I will select the salary column again, and then I will click on replace value. And I will say that whenever null is present, replace it, and here paste that particular average. So 73764 is nothing but average of that particular column. Well and good. And I will click on OK. So now we have almost done a lot of tasks here. Then what we will be doing is, let's try to create new columns from the existing columns as well. Now imagine that you have this start date column. From the start date column, you want to extract year. Right now we don't have any column called as year, and you want to extract it. So if you want to extract the things, then what you need to do is just click on the start date. You have to select the start date, click on add column, and then click on add columns from example here. Just click on add columns from example here, and it will open a new mini window for you. Here we will rename it as year. And if you scroll it down, here we need to decide the pattern. And my Power BI is smart enough to capture the pattern. So if I write 2020, the first year from the first date, okay, And if I press enter, you can see that automatically my Power BI will compare that pattern and it will apply it on all the columns. If things are looking out good, if things are looking out good, you can observe this window as well over here. You can see that automatically my Power BI has written the code in the background. This is the code which it has performed on the background. After that, I will simply click on OK. And now you can see on the right hand side, one column has created perfect. Can we create another column? Yes, we can create one more column over here. What I'll do now, I will select the location and maybe I will try to capture the country name from it. Okay. So remember this operation, right? The operation which we are performing, I will again click on add column and I will again click on columns from example. I will over here as a location, I will write down USA. I will press enter and you can see for some cases it has appeared, for some cases it has not appeared. Whenever things have not appeared, just double click on it. And what is the value? NZ. I will write down NZ. I will again press enter. Sometimes it failed to matches the pattern efficiently. At that time, you can see that here, actual it's USA, but it has, unfortunately, it has captured ELS from the Los Angeles. That time you have to manually rectify it by double click on it and you can click US. I'll again press enter and you can see all the things are perfectly maintained over here. I will click on OK and you can see the column name will be appeared. Unfortunately, I have not renamed it. So I will do one thing. I will double click on this column name and I can rename it to, let's say, country column, and I will simply press enter. But remember, you will use this column from example feature when there is a common pattern in all the values of that particular column, then only it will work effectively, otherwise it will not. Now I guess we have captured lot of information in the first data set itself. Now I am assuming that we are all set. If you observe our taskbar, you can see there are two windows open. One is the Power BI desktop, this one, and second one is this Power Query editor, which we have opened. Now, remember this thing. If I open my Power BI editor, you can see the column names are still not updated. Reason is, I will again go back to my Power Query editor. Reason is, I have made the changes here itself, but I have not saved it and I have not applied it on my original data set. And that's the reason, if you go back to your Power BI desktop, you can see here the column names have not been changed yet. So what I'll do is, here I will again click on the home tab in the Power Query editor. In the Power Query editor, I will go inside the home tab, and on the on the left hand side, you can see one option called as close and apply. Now what you can do is, you have three options: close and apply and close. Now close means obviously cancel the operation. Close and apply means close the Power Query editor and apply all the changes on the original data set, right? So what I'll do now, I will simply click on close and apply. But if you are wondering what is apply means just keep this window open and apply the changes on the original data set. Okay. So what I'll do is, I will simply click on close and apply button. As soon as I will click on it, that window will disappear. My data will be loaded again, and now you can see on the right hand side we can see all the columns very correctly, right? Next thing that we can do is, maybe we can perform visualization on this particular data, but that is not the purpose of it. The main purpose of this session was to see how to handle unclean data. And then after that, we will not only stop at this particular step. After transforming the data, we will perform the visualization of that particular columns as well. So till now we have understood lot of things about data cleaning, or you can say that data transformation. We have learned how to transform our first row as a header, how to deal with the null values, how to deal with the null values in a numeric column, how to change data types, how to rename columns. Now we will go one step ahead in this data transformation field. Here, we will try to now read a complex data set, and using that complex data set, we will try to study data transformation. And for that, I will again upload one Excel workbook. So the workbook which I'm going to upload is an Excel file, and this is related to the sales data. I will simply select it, and then I will click on open. Once you will click on open, it will connect ourselves with that file, and you will again get this kind of notification. So you know that here you always get an overview of your table, or you can say that the sheet which is present in that particular Excel book. Now the book which I want to select is the sales sheet. I will simply click on it, and on the right hand side you will get an overview of this particular data. You can see over here itself, it is visible that the data is not properly maintained. How you can get that? You can observe the column names or column headers. All these column headers does not have a proper naming. And again, if you have observed it, the very first row is not considered as a header. Technically, as you can see over here itself, the first row has to be the header. But if you observe this data more carefully, then you can see that after every you can say that the salesperson name, you can see there is an sales ID as well, or the person ID as well. So we will be dealing with this kind of data as well. Over here itself, you can see a lot of null values. But if you observed it, then you can clearly see that we have a records like this again. That means that salesperson north, east, south, west appearing again and again. So no worries, we will try to understand how to deal with this kind of data as well. And over here now we will simply like to transform it, and that's the reason before loading it I will simply click on transform data. So now I will simply click on it. It will load the data, and you can see lot of information over here, like empty values, error values, and you can say that any other information as well. But again, if you have observed it, my Power BI has taken four steps by default, right? So now we will try to handle this particular data. And I guess to handle this particular data in a better way, the very first step that you can see here is nothing but, if you observed it, the first row should be our header. And for that, what you have to do is you can see one option over here as use first row as header. But today we will also like to, expand this particular button to know more about what different options we have. We have two options over here: use first row as header, or use header as first row. So I hope you are getting my point. Sometimes, this can be also happen. Imagine now, I'll tell you this particular option: use headers as first row. Now imagine you have an Excel book, and in that Excel book, the data is maintained right from the first row. If you're not getting my point, then I will like to tell you that in an easiest way. So I will start my Excel sheet, and imagine that this is our Excel book. Let's create a blank book. And imagine that the data is maintained directly like this. Okay, let's say a dummy data. So if you observe this, then Power BI will consider this row as a column header. And that time, if the data is maintained like this, that particular time, you can actually refer this particular option called as use header as a first row. But right now, we will not do that because we want to use our first row as a header, not header as a first row. So that's the reason I will simply click on this particular button over here, use first row as header. Now you can see that the data is almost looking good now, but still it is not fully looking good, right? So let us try to make it more beautiful, or you can say that more clean, whatever you call it, right? So over here, you can clearly see that we have few values which does not make any sense, like few words over here. Let's say word called as total. Over here, you can see null values are also present. Over here, you can see cells for salesperson, again cells for total, right? So I hope you're getting my point. The thing which is happening right now in front of us is that in this entire data, we have null values, and along with the null values, we do have few unwanted words as well in that particular column, right? So we will now try to understand how to remove null values from your entire data set. And for that, what we will do is we will simply hover your mouse in remove rows. I will simply click on it, and then you can see three options on the bottom side. Remove duplicates, then we have something called as remove blank values, and third one is something called as remove errors. We have already talked about remove errors in the last session. Now, here, remove blank rows will technically remove the null records from your table or from your data set. And now the third one is, or you can say the first one is remove duplicate. Now, in your data set, there can be high chances that few names or few IDs can be present multiple times or can be present twice. So whenever we call it as student ID, or you can say that salesperson ID or product ID, order ID, you know that that ID has to be unique and none of other. For example, if I'm saying that my product ID is 101, then in my data set, this 101 should be unique. There should not be any other product with this particular product ID, and if it is present, that means it is a duplicated value. And that time, if you want to remove duplicate values, you can simply click on remove duplicate. But as of now, what we have to do, as per our scenario, we have to remove all the null values. And whenever you want to remove all the null values, the only thing that you need to do is you need to click on remove blank rows. I will simply click on it, and you can see that few of the values from this salesperson column have been removed. But if you observe it, there are few more entries where you can see null. Now, it means that things are not fully sorted yet. So we'll try to do it in another way as well. This is one way using which you can remove the null values, but this sometimes do not remove the null values. So what you can do is I have simply go back to the step. Okay, I will click somewhere, let's say over here. Okay, and now what we all are going to do is we will simply see this option over here called as drop down list. We will simply click on this drop down list, and here you can actually filter out all the values. Meaning, if you don't want to see null values, just uncheck it. If you don't want to see this total, uncheck it. If you don't want to see any word called as salesperson, uncheck it. And similarly, we will uncheck all these wordings as well. Now, when I say uncheck, that means I'm actually filtering out this particular, what you can say that this particular data. And if I click on OK, you can now see that we have filtered out our data, or you can say that we have filtered out all those values, right? So this is how you can filter out some values as well from a specific column if you don't want those values. Perfect. Now, if you observe the things carefully, you can see that the data type of each and every column. For the salesperson, no doubt it has to be text because it is a text data. So that's the reason you can see ABC over here. You know that ABC here stands for it is a text as a data type. If you observe this, north, east, south, west region. So basically this data set is all about we are having salespersons, and we are also having the sales that has been done by that salesperson in different region like north, east, south, west. Now, in this scenario, you know that the cells of north or cells of east or cells of any region has to be numeric only. But if you observe this data type, you can see that it's ABC123, meaning it's alphanumeric. Whenever you want to convert such things into numeric, just click on it, click on the ABC123 and change it to decimal number. And you can see now it is no more in alphanumeric format. If you want to do the same thing, I'll again hover your mouse over here. I will click on it and again I will change it to decimal number. I'll do the same thing for rest of the numbers as well. Perfect. Now we all have all the data present in the correct data type. You can see salesperson is present in a text format because it contains all text values. Then it north, east, south has to be present in the numeric format, and yes, it is present in a numeric value. But if you observed it, the salesperson data, you can see after the salesperson name, let's assume that gems, after gems, there is one number written inside it, which is 1769. Now, what is this number? This is nothing but that person ID or salesperson ID. So you know that if I'm talking about the name of the salesperson, in that name, only name has to be present. In the salesperson column or in the salesperson name column, ID should not be present. So what we are going to do now is we are going to separate out this ID. We are going to separate out this ID from its name. And to separate out the values, you can see one option called as split column over here. Now we will see how to use the split column. I will simply click on it and I will split the column on the basis of delimiter. Now, what is the delimiter? You can say that delimiter, let's say, split the values. Just a second. I will simply select this column first. Yeah, I will simply select this column first and then I will click on split column again. And I will simply go back to by delimiter. And you can see the enter, you can say that select delimiter as space. That means you know what will happen. I'll tell you in a simplest way. What will happen is that imagine my data is like this. For example, imagine my data is like this: gems space 2345. Imagine that. Now when we split the operation, we always ask we always get one question about the splitter or delimiter. So over here, the delimiter is nothing but a white space. So that means what will happen, my Power BI will separate out these two values like this, gems, and in other column, there will be 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope you are getting my point. So delimiter, or you can say that this splitting operation is used when you want to split the data and you want to create multiple columns out of it, right? Now, there is one problem. The problem is this. I'll tell you, I'll press OK and you see the problem. I hope you have observed it. If you observed it, then we are not getting the expected answer, right? If you scroll it down on the right hand side, you can see the name over here and the numbers over here, which is 1679 or 1769. But if you observe it, there are a lot of empty spaces. Now, I'll tell you why it has happened. First, before that, I will simply cross this and I will simply cross this split column delimiter step as well. Now I will tell you the problem. Problem is here. If you observe the name gems carefully, you can see that before the letter J, there are white spaces. Meaning my data is not maintained like this. My data is maintained like this. And if we have, let's say, two white spaces before the name, then can I say that here as well, there will be two more blank columns, right? Blank column number one, then blank column number two, then gems, and then that two, three, four, five, right? So, this is what happened. Okay, this is what happened when you have extra spaces in the string. Perfect. So to remove these extra spaces, obviously you will get this answer when the data is maintained like this, right? Then only you will get this kind of proper answer. So to remove these extra white spaces, what you need to do is you need to right click on this salesperson column. Over here you can see lot of options. From that option you can see change data type option as well, you can see replace values, you can see lot of options, but you have to take your mouse on one option called as transform. So here what we need to do is we will simply transform, and then you can see one function over here called as trim. Now what is the purpose of this trim function? Trim function always remove extra white spaces which are there in the string or which are there before or after the string. And obviously we have to do this itself, we have to remove all the extra white spaces which are before my salesperson name. And now again observe the salesperson column in the background. I will now click on trim function, and if you observe it, see the extra white spaces have been removed. So this is how you can perform transformations as well, right? So we have done one task here. The task is simple. What we have done is we have the salesperson name in a clean format. Now, the next step is to split that name on the basis of white space. So for that, what you need to do is you will simply perform one simple thing. What you will do is you will simply select it, and after that you can see lot of again option here. From that we will select split column, and then you will split the column on the basis of delimiter. Then after that you can see one option over here called as space. I will simply select the space as it is, and then I will simply click on OK. But before that, you can see lot of options over here. Split at leftmost, rightmost, or each occurrence of delimiter. I will now talk about this particular options so that you will understand the things even more better. So let us first understand what is leftmost delimiter. So for that, we'll take one example. Imagine we are again dealing with this particular date. And now imagine that data looks like this: gems, and let's say one example, let's say font. Now over here you can see there are two white spaces. One is over here, and second one is over here. Now what is the purpose of this particular option called as each occurrence of delimiter? Over here, let's say before that maybe we will see leftmost delimiter first. So leftmost delimiter when we talk about leftmost delimiter, that means it will only remove, or it will only split on the basis of this leftmost white space itself. That means here I will not get three columns, instead I will only get two columns. One is about the first space, and second one is about the gems bond. Okay, this will be output of this particular option called as leftmost delimiter. That means while splitting the column, consider only the leftmost delimiter, right? But now what we are using is, let's say we are using each occurrence of the delimiter, meaning whenever there is a white space, there will be column. That column will be splitted. That means here there will be one column for the space for this particular first space. Then over here as well there is a space, And because of this space, there will be two extra things. One is, let's say, gems, and second one, let's say, bond. So I hope you are getting my point, right? So over here, in my case, what we are doing is, no doubt, we are splitting our column on the basis of every white space, right? And then I will simply click on OK, just observe the background. And you can see that we got two columns over here, right? If you observe the column names, you can see that salesperson dot one, salesperson dot two. Why this? Because obviously it has created two columns for us. Now, we have already learned how to rename the column. So for that, we'll simply hover your mouse over here, double click on its name, and maybe we will change it as name over here. We'll click somewhere else, and to change these values as well, I will double click on it and I will simply name it as ID. But if you observe the data carefully, you will get one more thing. You will see that the values of the ID is present like -1769, -2213, -1336. So this has happened because of some background things of Power BI. Now, we don't have to worry about it. We can easily transform this ID column because you know that IDs cannot be negative. IDs can only be positive. So here we need to transform this ID column so that we can convert negative values into positive values. And to do that, all you need to do is just select this particular ID column, right click on it, and after that you can see again option called as transform. But I hope you have now observed the transform options which are coming for the numeric values and transform options which are coming for the text column. So over here, no doubt, when we talk about text transformation, it is all about, you can say that, lowercase letter, uppercase letter, capitalizing the things, maybe trimming out the things, right? But when we talk about numerical calculation, then you can see that numerical transformation is all about a rounding of the things. You can say that taking factorial, taking log of that, taking square root of that, right? The point over here that we need to set here is that we need to take absolute value. I hope you know that in mathematics, if you are taking absolute value of any positive number, it will be positive only. But if you are taking absolute value of any negative number, it will eventually positive itself. So this is one way where you can perform that transformation. So right click on it, click on transform, and we will click on this absolute value button here. I will simply click on it and you can see all the things I have now converted into proper way, right? So here, what else we can do? If you observe it, right? If you observe it, you can see all the data now in a cleaned format, right? But let us understand one thing. Imagine I want to find out, imagine I want to find out the value of, let's say, gems. You can say that total cells of this particular column. Imagine I want to do this north plus east plus south plus west. So whatever the answer of these four values, right? North, east, south, west, whatever the value of these four things, that has to be present on the new column. Let's say total cells column. And how you can do that? It's very easy. For that, all you need to do is just again hover your mouse on add column button, click on add columns, and then you can see one more option over here called as custom column. What you need to do is just click on custom column. After that, here you need to set the column name. Let's say that I'm naming at total cells. What will be the formula? Formula is simple, equals to, we will double click on this north, plus double click on his east, plus double click on his south, plus double click on his west, right? Now, if I click on OK, you will see extra column got created called as total cells containing all the values. You can see the data type has been identified as ABC123. You just hover your mouse on the value, or you can say that this data type, and then change it to decimal numbers. And that's it, right? So this is how you can perform all the basic transformation. And I guess if you observe the quality of the column, you can see that all the columns are healthy now, right? Now, after that, all you need to do is go to Home tab and then click on Close and Apply button. This will simply close the Power Query Editor window and it will load all the updated records here. We have to wait for a few seconds, and after that you will see the data on the right side, right? Here all you need to do is expand this and you can see all your column names here. Now let us build one simple chart out of it. So to do that, you know that here we have to be in the report view. So this is our report view, right? So let us first draw a simple, what you can say, that simple bar chart to identify who has done better sales, right? So for that, we'll do one thing. Here you can see two options, stacked bar chart and stacked column chart. The difference between these two is one is horizontal and second one is vertical. So usually horizontal bar chart is preferred when you have multiple categories to compare, right? But right now, I guess we can go ahead with the simple column chart. I will simply click on it, and you can see one empty chart will appear over here. You can simply take your mouse and you can place it anywhere you want. You can also expand it if you want to. So since we are creating only one chart itself for the study purpose, I will just expand it like this. Now, how to draw or how to put data inside it? Whenever you will click on this particular, whenever you will click on this particular chart, immediately below the visualization, you can see lot of options here, X axis and Y axis. Now, depending on the insight that you need to find out, you have to decide X value and Y value. Meaning, right now, I want to find out which salesperson has done how much of sales. So you know that here on the X axis, there will be salesperson names, and on the Y axis, there will be a total sales done by them. So all you need to do is just drag this name and put it on the X axis. Drag it and drop it, right? Now, after that, drag the total sales and drop it on the Y axis, and you will see all the things over here, right? You will see that Mark, David, and other salesperson and their sales as well. By looking at this graph, you can easily imagine that who has done the best job and who has not been performing well. But if you observe it, you can see the values of that x-axis is not properly visible. The font size is not properly visible. So you can also edit the font size. So all you need to do is just select this particular chart again, and over here you can see one option called as format your visual. You can simply click on it, and after that just expand the x-axis, and here you can see the font value. You can increase it and you can see all these values are now properly visible, right? Not only that, you can do a lot of other stuff as well, but we are not going to explore all those stuff. But we will definitely going to explore this stuff in upcoming sessions. Meaning, we are going to see how to format your visuals as well. Because here, the default color of our bars is blue. Then you might have one question, can we change the color of this chart? Then my answer will be yes. And not only that, but you can do a lot of other things as well. But as of now, the main purpose of this particular session was to give you an idea of how to transform data more effectively so that you can create such effective insights. So that's it for this particular session.